Hi, everybody. I want to demonstrate some evidence to you of microwave burns that are on my body. So, there was one that I posted like a few months ago where there was one like right underneath my thigh, and it was a clear laser burn. Okay. There's one here. There's a wound right here. The reason why it's bleeding is because I've been picking at it. I have a bad habit of picking at my scabs. But this is a laser burn right here. Okay, so these are burns that can be created by laser weaponry, and that came about during the night. That was when I was asleep. Okay, and now I want to show you something else. These are my hands right now. Okay, now as you can see, they've got burns all over them. They've got red marks all over them. All right. Um, these are from electromagnetic frequency weapons, EMF weapons, the microwave weapons. So these injuries right here are from the microwave weapons. These right here are from the microwave weapons. The point of these weapons being used is to disable the hands of the targeted individual. So basically, essentially what is being done here is not only attempting to prevent the TI from speaking out, it's also to prevent the TI from protecting, from basically defending themselves or being self-sufficient. So every inch of self-preservation through this torture is being robbed. It like is to rob the targeted individual of their sovereignty, of their self-sufficiency, of their adulthood. That is the point of this torture. Now, the point of this torture right here is to weaken the hands, right? It's to weaken the hands to ensure that the target is debilitated and that they cannot defend themselves, like I said before. This is one of the reasons why, when I say the only good adult perp is a dead one, I'm not fucking joking. Do you understand what I mean? Because they want to be able to fire weapons at your chest, fire weapons at your hands so you can't defend yourself, fire weapons at your head so that they can give you brain hemorrhages like they did my mother, fire weapons at your core or your back so that you're debilitated and you can't defend yourself, so that the people operating the weaponry can fucking jack off to your pain, right? They want to send in people to psychologically torture you on top of that, just to make you easy enough for the weapons to detect. This is why I said the only good perp is a dead one. I looked back at that video that I made on the 19th of December, right? And I'm looking at that video and, this is how fucked up the world is, right? When you state the truth of what's going on plainly for everybody to see, that's where people think you're crazy. That's where people think you're mad. Like, it's just very, very obvious what's going on if you use your fucking brain and you stop being a dickhead. It's very obvious what is going on. Okay? People are being dumbed down, debilitated, and killed so that the right people who might be able to stop God knows how many people being killed are silenced, and not only silenced, have their souls destroyed and their spirits broken. They don't just want to kill us physically. That's not what this is. That's not what slow kill torture is. If these people wanted to kill us physically, they could have done it in a fucking hour. There is no reason why murder should take this fucking long unless they want to break down your soul and your spirit while they fucking do it. This is why the more I go through this targeting, the fiercer I get. This is why the more I go through this targeting, the less apologetic I get. This is why the more I go through this, the more I say, perps don't need to live. Because when I said that they're making the world worse, I wasn't fucking joking. There is evidence right here. And oh yeah, there's a cut on my eye here. But like when you get hit with electronic weapons in your eyes like I have, you can get burst blood vessels as well. Now, burst blood vessels can come about through stress or whatever, can come about through tiredness, but there's a distinct cut that can happen with your eye when you're being hit with weapons as well. All of this is evidence. The amount of people that have come online and said, targeted individuals don't have evidence when literally that evidence is all over their body. That type of fucking delusional lying needs to be studied. Okay. This is why I say there are no good perps. I don't care. I don't care what your backstory is. I don't care that you were blackmailed into this. I don't care that you were bribed into this. I don't care what your story is. You chose to do it. And you chose to do it on behalf of people who are far worse monsters than any targeted individual. You chose it. You chose to do this thing because you wanted to feel strong and you wanted to feel like you were winning for once. That's why you did this. It's got nothing to do with safety, nothing to do with survival, and everything to do with ego. I've been knowing how people operate by now to know that when push comes to shove, selfish interests will always win. So don't give me that. Now, earlier, I thought the upstairs family were filming me because I was training. Like they're debilitating my hands, so I got to. That I was training, right? I was like lifting and like doing my exercises and stuff like that, and they heard me thinking out loud. Now, when I usually do this, I'm usually visualizing scenarios, or it's a neurospicy thing, right? I'm usually visualizing scenarios, talking about my real feelings through symbolic imagery. I usually do that. And I usually do that about people that either I don't know or people that are not real. Okay. So because I don't like to think of real people to hurt them when I'm talking about this. Okay. So like I visualize things like that. I visualize scenarios in my head. I go through the scenarios. Like I practice like fights when I do that. Again, it's a neurospicy thing. It's not, this is another thing. Gang stalking treats everything as if it's fucking like a space alien doing something. It's just a fucking human being. But anyway, it's a neurospicy thing of like, visualizing stuff like that. And what I thought was going on was that the people upstairs were filming me. Now they could have been filming me. I don't know. They could have been, but I thought they were. And when I thought they were, I was bored. I was completely bored. I'm like, the fucking fear bores me. I'm bored. I'm bored. I'm not even angry. It's boring. You know what I mean? What good is like our abusers being afraid? Like, what good is that to me? What the fuck good is that to me? What the fuck good is their fear? What does their fear ever do? Hang on, I'm being fired on my arm as well, on my upper arm. I'm being fired on my upper arm here. I kept thinking it was heart problems, but no, it's them. They're trying to weaken my shoulder. They did the same thing to my mum. She had aches and pains right here and right here. They did the same thing to her. Like there are so many things that are being done to me. The same was done to her. But anyway, let me continue. I thought they were filming me, and then when I realized they were filming me, I was fucking bored. I was fucking bored. Because, like, for one thing, right, this family knows all too well that if I want to say something to them, I'm going to say it to them. This family knows full well that when I'm angry, I'm not afraid to look them directly in the fucking eye. If I'm going to cuss them out and call them a Nazi piece of shit, I literally called like these grown-ups slit-mouthed Nazi streaks of piss to their faces. There are certain things I don't play about. And this is one of the things where, I was just getting bored with it. And then next thing I know, because these people are not subtle, they're just not subtle at all. Of course I heard them talking about the status that I made on Facebook. Next thing I know, uh, one of these people they go outside. I think it's someone. They go outside and they make a progress report that I thought that they were filming me, and I literally did not give a shit. And they're right. I was laughing. I was laughing. Not gonna lie. All right. And then, like, this same person who was so fucking shit scared that they went out to make a report either to the gang stalkers that they're working for or emergency services, come back and then try to play off like they're not afraid. Like, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I'm sorry. Like, and filming me. Again, I thought they were filming me, and I might have actually got that wrong. The fact that they're filming me, like, I literally don't care. I've already said certain things to their faces multiple times. Multiple times. I'm not afraid to say anything to these people's faces ever. Ever. Right? That's the first thing. The second thing is that everybody knows what kind of program this is. Are we really going to sit here and pretend that like death was never on the table the second that the second that my case was opened? The second that gang stalking exists, it should be understood that the T.I. life is not the only life that's going to be lost. And that's just in the experiment itself. These people really think that the T.I.s are the only ones being harmed here. They're not. They never are. They never are. They never are. So when a perp is taken out, or when people decide not to be perps, that's more lives saved. Again, this is not a joke. This is not something that I'm saying to help my feelings. Although I can't lie, the thought of people from school, college, uni who have been involved in my gang stalking, who have been facilitating my murder, the fact that they're getting served like this, like, it does bring me some comfort. That's the only comfort I can get from this. The fact that even if they win against me, they've still got hell coming, and in more ways than one. They've got hell to pay. It like they're really worried about me. I love this for them. They're really worried about me, as if monsterizing me is going to solve the problem. It doesn't solve the problem. It never will solve the problem. I'll happily take that monster label if that's what they want. But monsterizing me never solved the problem, and it never will. They've still got hell coming. And that's before they die. They've still got hell coming. So I ain't worried, baby. I ain't worried. I'm not worried. I'm really not worried. They still got hell coming. It doesn't matter what happens to me. They still got hell coming. You know what I mean? So, yeah, they still got hell coming. So none of this matters. Their fear doesn't matter. Their fear doesn't matter, and their hopelessness doesn't matter. Abusive people come out the fucking womb afraid and hopeless. No people who are that easily discouraged are filled with hope. Fuck off. That's why fear isn't enough. That's why them being afraid isn't enough. That's why them being 5%. That's why them being afraid isn't enough. It's just not enough. Now I gotta go because 5%. But I will see you in the next video. Bye bye now.